So my sister's like, what the hell? Like, guys, this is the wrong dress. And they're like, oh, well, it might look a little different because it's the same, like, idea of the dress, just a different designer.
Hate that she couldn't get a solution without it being because of a viral video. That's just not cool. I wish she could have got a solution before that, out of just doing the right thing.
The reason that this happened in the first place is because this is part of the bigger work culture, and that people at this workplace felt very comfortable to treat people not just badly in private, but in public and on their social medias as well. Hey guys, it's Briar and let's chat about it. When it comes to social media, it feels like there are certain topics or videos that are just destined to go viral. For example, animals being silly and or cute, hair disasters, and story times of how a business has completely screwed someone over. And that is exactly what happens in the tale we are going to be talking about today. Because what started with a girl using her sister's story as a cautionary tale and advising people against a bridal store quickly escalated into so much more, and quickly unraveled the fact that this was not the first time that something like this happened at this bridal store. So that is exactly what we are going to be yappering about today, chatting about the sister and her story time and all of her updates, as well as the response and how this bridal store, Birdie Bridal, has responded and reacted to the situation. If you couldn't tell by my very subtle facial expressions, it didn't go the best, but don't you worry, because we're going to get into all of it. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, stick around and let's get into it. Now, of course, we have to start at the once upon a time of this story, at the beginning, if you will. And interestingly, the story was brought to TikTok by both the bride and her sister slash maid of honor. I'm going to use the sister slash maid of honor's video to tell the stories because she makes more response videos and gives more information and details, and it just seemed easier to follow the story that way. But the bride to be at the center of the story, her name is Shay, and she went to Birdie Bridal in Texas, Fort Worth, I believe. The worth of forts, as a bride is to do. She went to this bridal shop to get a wedding dress, obviously. And well, as we're going to see from the story time, it went, like, I don't even know how to describe it because it went so poorly. So I'm just going to get straight into the story time because we've got a lot to get into. This is just the beginning, just the once upon a time of it all. So we simply got to get chopping. I have to keep on track, keep focused. So let's start with the sister's story time that now has 4.7 million with an M&M views.
Bridal shop to avoid out of Fort Worth. They have a pretty large following on TikTok, but I am honestly just like pretty disgusted at how they've handled the situation with my sister. So my sister gets married in about 50 days. They've sent her the wrong dress twice now. Not once have they been apologetic at all. Not once have they offered a solution until today, after arguing, and the solution's just not right to me personally. So let me just explain a little bit. First, kind of like was that they sent a form before your appointment, and it's like, hey, choose like the dresses that we have that you might like so we can have them ready for you. So she did that, and we got there and they didn't even look at the form, and we're like, oh, so what style of dresses do you want? And my sister was like, oh, you know, like that one that was on the form, whatever. And they're like, can you show me? Like, why even have the form? But whatever, that's not a big deal. Found her dress pretty much immediately that she wanted, and they're like, yeah, it can be ready by your wedding day, but you should probably pay a rush fee for it. So she paid the rush fee.
Sidebar, I feel like rush fees are kind of like when you're buying tickets or airline tickets and they're trying to kind of like upsell you on all the little bits and bobs to just get that little bit of change. Unless you like seriously are in a rush, big time rush, if you will. I just feel like probably that's just kind of like, oh, a little bit extra money, you're already paying so much. But I just wanted to in the beginning point out how what she explained about the experience really goes against what they say on their website, because they say at Birdie Bridal we get to know our brides through our private VIP experience. We deliver hand curated dresses from the latest US collections and create the perfect fit for our brides every time. The foreshadowing that the website does is kind of diabolical, but we're here every step of the way, and at the end of your experience, you'll be ready for your truly perfect day. Already we're having contradictions of what the website promises, right? Like the fact that you made someone fill out a form, which makes sense, duh, giving them a little bit of a heads up of what you're interested in. The fact that they didn't use that information to create this private VIP experience is off the bat not giving a great first impression. But if that was the only tale of the story, clearly we wouldn't be here. So let's continue and get into the diabolicalities. Yep, sure, that's a word.
About 2 months ago, they sent her the dress. Could fit 3 of her in it. Like, it was nowhere near her size. So she let them know, and they were like, oh, what size do you need? She was like, the girl took my measurements. Like, I don't know. Y'all are supposed to take my measurements and order based off of that. And so, whatever, they, I guess, figured it out, but they're like, you're going to have to send that dress back before we order your other dress. And she was like, okay. She sends the dress back. Mind you, never apologetic, never anything. They were just like, okay, send the dress back. Like, she was annoying them. About 2 weeks ago, she got the second dress. If I'm a wedding store, whatever, I'm not sending somebody the wrong dress twice. Once is enough. Like, I get that you guys do this every day, but like, same thing with healthcare. Working healthcare, people are like, you do this every day, you're new to it. No, like, you shouldn't be, because these people don't do it every day. Their wedding day is the biggest day of their lives, and like, why are you ruining that? Anyways, second dress gets here, wrong dress completely, not the same dress.
So now we're at the 2 nickels point of the story, where if her sister had a nickel for every time she got sent the wrong dress, she'd have 2 nickels, which isn't a lot, but it's weird that happened twice. And yeah, you would imagine, I feel like when I worked in hospitality, or like, you know, if there was a mistake, which, you know, that happens, everyone makes mistakes, everyone has those days, you are hyper vigilant that that does not happen again, that mistakes don't continue to happen, because obviously you've started on the wrong foot and you want to make it right and make sure the rest of their experience is, as per your website, a VIP one. And so let's just hear what happens with this wrong dress, shall we?
So my sister's like, what the hell? Like, guys, this is the wrong dress. Not just the wrong size. Like, this is not the right dress. They tried to gaslight her and tell her it was the right dress. And she was like, no, it's literally not the right dress. And they're like, oh, well, it might look a little different because it's the same, like, idea of the dress, just a different designer. When you sell somebody something, you don't sell them the idea of that something. You're selling them that something. That's crazy to me. That is so crazy to me. Again, never apologetic. Just basically like, deal with it. We don't care. So she obviously doesn't take that for an answer, because like, what the hell? So she contacts operations manager or whatever. She's super not helpful either. Just like acts like my sister's bothering her. She basically just tells her like, this is the dress. Sorry, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's the dress you ordered. It's just a little different. No. So my sister sends her picture of, because I took pictures of her when she tried the dress on. And she's like, these are the 2 different dresses. They're different. And she was like, oh, I figured out what happened. So when we originally reached out, the dress designer or whatever wasn't going to get it done in time for your wedding, so we ordered you a different one. Come again? You ordered somebody something they didn't purchase from you without asking them if that's okay, and then we're just going to sneak send it.
So initially they were trying to pass it off as, no, that's what you ordered, you silly goose, get back in the pond. Then they were like, okay, so maybe we had a different chef make the dress, we had a different designer, Louis Vuitton was busy, so we asked Coco Chanel. Like, huh? This comment made me laugh so much. It says, I know you paid for a Mercedes, but they were out, so we sent you a Kia. Take care. And yeah, that's exactly how it feels. And the fact that she only got that answer by having to persist with the situation and go up the, line of, what's it called? Operations? Sure. To get this answer, and for them to be like, we figured it out. What we did is, because we are so nice and thoughtful, because your dress wouldn't be ready, we just thought, I know, we'll just order something that feels like we think that maybe she would want that. We're not going to ask. We're not going to come to you and say, hey, so sorry, you can't get that dress anymore. Let's find a solution. Let's workshop. Let's brainstorm. No. They just were like, we're gonna figure it out on our own. We're gonna use our psychic intuition and just Charlie XCX guess. But let's continue.
I don't really believe that too much, maybe a little bit, but like, how did you send her the huge dress before that, if this was the case? Like, this doesn't make any sense to me. So the solution she offered my sister were to keep the dress that she didn't order, or no refund, no anything, no apologies. Keep the dress she didn't order, or get the floor sample that I have pictures of her trying on, and they'll refund her. Now they'll refund her the rush fee. $24 is what they're going to take off of that floor sample. $24. That's all she can offer her. Then my sister's like, okay, well then can I just like send this back and get a refund? No, we don't do refunds. You don't do refunds? You don't do refunds? I get if you don't do refunds if she got the dress she bought, but you don't do refunds when you guys didn't give her the dress she bought? That's crazy to me. Birdie Bridal, Fort Worth, out of Fort Worth. Birdie Bridal. Class act.
So that really was the icing on top of the diabolical cake, where they were just going to refund the rush fee because, duh, you didn't even rush the right dress. Not only that, you're not even going to offer a refund. You're basically just saying, you have to keep this dress that you didn't ask for. Like, I don't know if America has like the Commerce Commission that we have in New Zealand, but it's like there are standards that businesses are held to regardless of if they specifically have their own policies around refunds. But I don't know, in New Zealand, if the company doesn't fulfill the service or the good promised, I'm pretty sure you can still get that Commerce Commission or like that third party entity to enforce them to give you the refund, because hello, otherwise that's kind of literally a scam. But yes, as you can imagine, this went crazy bananas on socials. The top comment literally says Birdie Bridal is terrible, and then the creator actually commented saying now they're making TikToks with her dress and posted it today. I guess that's their way of throwing shade. So they have since deleted that video, so I don't have that video to show you guys, unfortunately. That was their initial reaction to the situation, was to be mean and shady about the dress that she got and kind of post about it. Yeah, so it sounds like you guys do have that kind of thing in America, by people saying, as a consumer protections lawyer, I'm salivating. So clearly there is a version of that in America. Great. The idea of the dress, did she pay with the idea of money? But I think the craziest comment is this one from Birdie Bridal official themselves, where they say, hi, although we did mess up and take full responsibility. I know I'm using my own choice of inflections, but it's my video, I do what I want. This is just my interpretation. We gave the bride $200 off her $499 dress. So just straight up saying how much the bride paid for the dress and how much they gave off. So making the total $299. We got a replacement dress outright away and it's en route to the bride. A full refund was offered this morning. If the bride does not want the dress at all, trying to do the right thing as a business, and then 3 white hearts. So that is a really crazy bananas response to me, that you would literally drop all of the pricing and everything in the comments, especially when it very overtly contradicts what she said was actually offered. So we can't help but wonder, is that what was offered after the fact? Because the sister, the bride to be, made her video a day earlier than this video. So it's like, okay, yeah, so this morning would have been after the original video. So it does feel like a damage control offer. But the story doth continue. Like I said, we're only at the beginning. So let's continue.
So my sister texted Ashley again today because their social media manager claimed that they gave her $200 off her dress, decided to throw shade by listing the price of her dress. Also, they made a video today after my video with her dress in it, stating dresses you can find for under blah, 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 blah. Throwing shade over how much she spent. So I guess they only treat you right if you spend a certain amount of money. Anyways, Ashley again reiterated, no, we're not giving you a discount. We're only refunding you the shipping and the rush fee. So you're wrong. You're lying in my comments. And then a full refund was offered today after my video. If you guys would have just handled this appropriately, like, we would have never come here. We came here because she's been dealing with this for 2 weeks now, and you guys treated her like crap, offered her no solutions. But yeah, our girl Ashley clarified that she doesn't care. She doesn't give a crap. And a full refund is offered if my sister gets the floor sample of her dress, not the new one, the floor sample of her dress, and doesn't like it. Then they're going to give her a refund. So that's the update. She's supposed to be getting it tomorrow, but we'll see, because she still hasn't gotten a refund for her shipping and whatever, rush fee. So that's where we're at. But yeah, if you go look at the Birdie Bridal HQ page, their post today with the cheaper dresses, my sister's dress is on it. Throwing shade. Super unprofessional.
I really hope I was able to fix that background noise in post-production editing. Briar, please tell us you did your thing. But anyway, this is what the screenshot says. I'm sorry for the miscommunication. It wasn't an extra $200 on top of the rush fee and bronze package. The amount you'd get back is $250 plus $25 for the floor sample. I'm dyslexic, but I can't make this make sense. Okay, never mind, it was my dyslexia. However, if you don't love the dress on the way to you, we will go ahead and refund everything and send you a shipping label to get it sent back. The refund does take 7 to 10 business days depending on your bank. I have to wait until the old dress is back in our position in order to process that fully. Again, I am so sorry. Again, a lot of confusion about what is being fully refunded, them saying that they were going to give a full refund, not true. Or she only gets a full refund if she doesn't like the floor dress, which I feel like is very risky because lots of people try it on, so you just don't know if it's going to have stains or things like that, and it feels very unlikely that they would have made sure that this floor dress, or what's it called? Is it called a floor dress? Floor sample would be in perfect condition. But yes, everyone in the comments is just really shocked by Birdie Bridal's social media response and making weird, shady videos. But it just feels a little bit too suspicious that you are making this kind of affordable dress video that is no longer there, and it just so happens to include this girl's dress, and you continue to post the price. If you want to take me for a fool, fine. Fool me once, why would you do that? Fool me twice, ow, that hurt my feelings. Fool me 3 times, maybe I should stop trusting you. You know, like, I get it. Take me for a fool if you think that I am one. I'm not going to be fooled by this. I'm sorry. I'm not buying the fact that that was an innocent video and just innocently included her dress. But the next day, Birdie Bridal did actually make an official statement, and I'm assuming it's because they got just an overwhelming response of, hey, what the freak frack front and back was that? Why would you treat someone like that? Why would you be okay with giving someone this experience? And as we're starting to see in the comments, a lot of other people are agreeing that they have had bad experiences with Birdie Bridal too, and it's starting to look like, oh, this hasn't happened in a vacuum. This is part of a bigger problem. Please explain. Birdie Bridal the next day posted a carousel, so I shall dyslexically read it to you thusly. We at Birdie Bridal made a mistake and we are truly sorry. A TikTok video about Lachey's experience with us has gone viral and we want to address it head on. This is Sybil, the owner, sharing what happened and how we're trying to make it right. The issue started with 2 dresses in our collection that shared the same name, an honest oversight on our end. We sell worldwide and sometimes brides get confused about styles, but in this case, Lachey was absolutely right. Our team didn't recognize the mix-up at first and followed our standard exchange process, which isn't too common and unfortunately didn't help. My staff is wonderful and dedicated, but they didn't loop me in because I was on bed rest and they were trying to shield me from stress. They handled it like a typical inquiry, which is concerning because as we reflect back to Whit's video, no apologies, no sorry, no sort of help. The continuous theme was that Lachey or Shay was annoying them for them sending her the wrong dress. So that's kind of that typical inquiry process. Okay, sure. Sorry, I don't know why I'm so sassy. I think it's whenever I film on a Friday, I get sassy. Spoiler alert, I filmed that Ned Fulmer video on a Friday, dude. Surprise! I don't know what it is about Fridays that make me so sassy, guys. But the situation wasn't typical at all. So trying to kind of like plant the seeds of this is shocking and new and different for us. That led to some unhelpful responses, and for that I take full responsibility, as I should have had them set up better while I take this time off to grow our family. As soon as the video gained traction, I learned about the problem and immediately talked with my team. We offered a full refund right away and sent cash payment directly to Lachey to cover her trouble, even though, as we saw earlier, that was not what was being told. She was being told that she was going to get like the dress half off, basically. This morning, my husband spent 90 minutes with the staff to break down everything that went wrong. We've already implemented changes to prevent this from happening again, like clarifying dress names and improving our escalation process. While this helps future brides, it doesn't undo the stress for Lachey, and we're committed to fixing that too. My husband called Lachey personally, and she was incredibly sweet and understanding, not looking for handouts or drama, just resolution. I don't remember anyone saying that that's what Lachey wanted. What? Literally in Whit's video, she's like, the only reason we're talking about it now is because we've spent the last 2 weeks trying to get it sorted and they wouldn't. So I didn't see anybody saying that these girls were looking for drama, but okay. Just resolution. We've agreed to cover all her dry cleaning and alterations for the dress arriving today. We've also placed a rush order on a brand new wedding dress that was the original intent as a backup. If neither works perfectly, we'll do whatever else is needed to make it right. To Lachey, her sister, and anyone affected, we sincerely apologize for the unnecessary stress during what should be a joyful time. I founded Birdie to give every bride the amazing experience they deserve, and we fell short here. This has lit a fire under us to review every part of our process and realign with our core mission of exceptional service. And I feel like in this response, like I see good aspects and then also kind of like really strange, weird aspects. And I think a lot of people felt that way in the comments as well, especially considering there was someone on their social media account just being quite unprofessional, getting in comments and saying things that were simply untrue. And also just those like kind of weird comments about like, Lachey wasn't looking for drama, she was looking for a resolution. Like, no duh. Someone also said, as a teacher, this apology was chat GPT'd. If the video didn't go viral, would this have happened? Can we also talk about how your social media manager tried to publicly shame her for the price of her dress, like you guys aren't the ones selling it at that price? Truly, this apology has no value, and I think that is definitely a big issue that a lot of people had with this apology and with the way Birdie has responded, is that their initial knee-jerk reaction, whether it was the owner's reaction, was one that was very mean, very catty, like shading the dress, trying to make it seem like she was just after money, and then also lying again about how much money she was getting refunded and also blasting how much money she had spent on the dress. Like, it was just very strange, and it just felt like to a lot of people that there was a bigger underlying work culture issue at play here, because it's like, how could someone in a workplace think that this is appropriate, think that this is okay, think that this is the normal inquiry process, and then go on to be like catty, mean, like underhanded? And also, before it was taken to social media, everyone was acting like the sister was just being a burden. So let's get into what's next update video.
So update from Birdie Bridal, whatever. I'm going to a Lil Wayne concert, so I'm just gonna update you guys real quick. Super excited, by the way. I'm so freaking excited. Anyways, the owner's husband refunded her. He Zelled her today, so she did get that full refund, and she's supposed to be getting her floor sample tonight, so hopefully that looks great because her dress looks so good on her. If not, we're gonna go elsewhere and get her a different dress, and it's gonna be perfect. It's gonna be fine. I'm glad that I could get her a solution. Hate that she couldn't get a solution without it being because of a viral video. That's just not cool. I wish she could have got a solution before that, out of just doing the right thing. A few brides have also dealt with the company and issues like this, so hopefully they learn from it.
And I think that's such a big point of situations like this, where it's like people really don't want to have to go to social media. Like she said, they spent weeks trying to resolve it with the company directly, and it seems like in this big old day and age that you only really do get a resolution, a proper resolution that should have been offered in the beginning, if you take these situations to social media. And then there is that social media pressure for them to do the right thing, instead of their processes, their policies and procedures, and their work culture just being to treat people properly and do the right thing. But let's continue.
Ashley, their coordinator, whatever, operations coordinator, awful. Social media manager, awful. She made them look so bad yesterday, so I hope they can get that under control. But didn't want to bash them. I wanted my sister's solution. She got a solution, so we're good. We're all good. We're gonna have a great time. November 1st, if y'all want to tune in for her wedding, it's gonna be a time where I'm gonna look great. I also just got my maid of honor dress today too, so side note. But yeah, November 1st, we're gonna be having so much fun, looking so cute. But tonight I'm going to Lil Wayne. I'm going to Little freaking Wayne. So that's our update. Thank you guys for all the help and all the support. All of the brides, all the bridal companies that didn't screw up. All of you guys.
And a lot of people in the comments were really just shouting out Whit for being an awesome, maid of honor and sister, and really sticking up for her, where it's like, it's almost like, how you have kind of like the friendship duo or the sister duo, where it's like, you have Mr. Nice Guy and then you have Mr. Not So Nice Guy when Mr. Nice Guy doesn't work. And I feel like, unfortunately, for some reason, this is the only way to get a resolution, and that's just really sad to me because it shouldn't be that way, but I also think these situations don't happen in a vacuum, and I find it really hard to believe that this is the only bride-to-be that's being treated this way, and spoiler alert, it's not. But unfortunately there was a update picture in the comments where the dress got sent and it was actually ruined, and for some reason I can't find this picture / update on the original video, so here it is from this other person's video. But basically it says update to the update. They asked her if she opened the dress, and when she did, she realized they zipped the dress in the zipper of the dress bag, and now the dress is ruined. Thanks at Birdie Bridal Official for being so careless. To me, that really shows the true colors of the actual actions of this bridal company, and them ultimately leaving her with no dress only a couple months out from her wedding. Like she said, it was November 1st, and even though I haven't been married, I am aware that that is really a short amount of time to get a wedding dress in time, so they really have screwed her over, quite frankly, by giving her no wearable dress and really showing their true colors in their actions and in their behaviors and in this kind of carelessness. But the story just continued to grow and show that this did not happen in a vacuum. This is not a once-off incident, and the next thing that happened was the owner Sybil making a video response after her little kind of carousel picture, as we went through the comments, didn't go down the best. So this video response does have way more views as well than the initial one, and I do think in general video responses like are just going to be more engaging. Like, people don't particularly go to social media or TikTok to read. I was elected to lead, not to read, number 3, and so I just think in general you are going to get more engagement and more people listening if you make a video. But also I'm sure you'll be able to tell pretty quickly why this video went even more viral than the initial videos combined, which is kind of crazy to me that more people have seen this initial video than the original sisters video and the original bride-to-be's video combined, because it has 5.4 million views. But let's just see why this video got such a reaction.
Hi everyone, it's me, Sybil, the owner of Birdie Bridal. I know I posted an apology slideshow yesterday, but I just felt like a video needed to be made as well. I just am so extremely sorry, and I feel whatever is worse than bad about what has happened with Shay's dress. I didn't make a video for the past few days because I didn't want to cry on camera, because I just didn't want it to look like I was trying to get sympathy, because I don't deserve that, and our business doesn't deserve sympathy, because we royally messed up, and we have been extremely blessed over the last 7 years with the best brides and the best experiences for me, helping so many brides find the dress. Just so great business. I stepped away to have a baby, and I thought I set my staff up for success while I was gone, but obviously didn't do a good enough job.
And obviously no one should be wishing stress or undue stress on someone that's pregnant, about to have a baby. Like, I can totally understand how stressful and upsetting that would be, and how you're trying to navigate all of these different things. But I think what this does highlight and come back to, and what gets revealed in the next few videos that we will watch, is that the reason that this happened in the first place is because this is part of the bigger work culture, and that people at this workplace felt very comfortable to treat people not just badly in private, but in public and on their social medias as well. And I think again in this apology, she does kind of acknowledge some things that I agree with, that like, you shouldn't be coming on to ask for sympathy. It's not about trying to get people to feel bad for you. It's about being accountable. But then, well, let's just continue, shall we?
And a lot of them have been with me since I had my last baby, so they know the stress, or not stress, but they know kind of my history, and were trying to shield me from the stress, so I wouldn't go into labor like I did with my previous pregnancies. I'm back to work today, and I'm at my baby viability week now, so I'm here and I'm making sure none of this will ever happen again. I cannot explain to you how awful, just extremely awful I feel about Shay's dress and just how everything was handled, and just we're putting every single guardrail into place that this will never happen again. And we've never been canceled before, or whatever, canceled. So I'm not really sure how to navigate this, but I just wanted to try to speak from the heart and explain how awfully sorry I am to Shay, and also letting down my staff on just how much they have had to deal with over the past few days, and hope that we can still go on as a business from here. But I understand people are mad, and I understand why, so just thanks for listening.
And obviously, first off, I'm sure she's so relieved that she's made it to viability week, and that must be a huge weight lifted off. And I think holding her business accountable is not at all trying to wish ill on her or her pregnancy or anything like that. So I want to make that obviously very clear. But I think when you perceive it as being cancelled as opposed to I've made a mistake, how do I fix it? Like, there is some acknowledgement there, I feel like, where she kind of wants to fix it and she says she's putting in guardrails, but she doesn't actually say what those things are. And I think a lot of people just kind of feel like, okay, and how are you going to do that? How are you going to fix it? Because then everyone is going and seeing Wit's videos and seeing, oh, they are making these promises, but the reality of the promises is not good enough, especially with finding out that the dress they sent had been zipped up in the wedding dress bag. So they sent her a useless and ruined dress. And because of that, I think a big theme of the comments section of this video is just, what are you doing? What are you implementing? What are the changes that you're making? A lot of people just felt like there was a lot of big sniffing and feeling sad and saying you're sorry, but then your actions to Shay repeatedly are not that of a company that is sorry, or not that of a company that's making it right, aside from giving the refund, but you're still leaving her dressless 2 months out from her wedding. No, it's less than 2 months now, November 1st. It's nearly October, guys, I'm scared. But another thing that came up a lot in these comments were other people's stories. So one in particular said, "Hi, I'm also a Birdie Bridal bride who also bought my dress in April. My stylist measured me completely wrong after putting the wrong dress in my portal. Here I am 1 month from my wedding with nothing to wear, no answers." So that story is extremely similar to Lachey's, which is showing that there is some sort of like weird underlying problem within the way that they behave and process dresses themselves. And it's like, is this some sort of like weird way of them charging them for a more expensive dress and then giving them a cheaper one? Like, I don't even know. That's just a theory off my silly little dome. But I think the bigger issue with that is that it is confirming that this is not a once-off, that it is confirming that there is multiple problems with the way that they treat their customers. And it seems to be the same problems, the same mentalities, because the same issues are happening over and over again. And it's not just an isolated bad situation that's happened to Lachey. Specifically, this comment saying, "Girl, but this isn't an isolated incident. The comments proving multiple women have had horrible experiences." And that is definitely another big issue of their responses, is that they are really trying to minimize it or isolate it and act as if this is one mistake, where that is not the case. And so I wanted to show you guys this girl's video that she made about the situation for multiple reasons. She has a cute dog in the video, which is always fun, but also because she highlights the kind of bigger context and the bigger problems with this bridal shop.
A verbal response was posted saying that they royally messed up. She is sorry, and they are putting guardrails in place and have never had to experience being canceled before. Comments, though, as you can see here, are showing this ain't something new and that it's happened multiple times, and it seems that guardrails need to be put in a long time ago.
So the comments that she highlighted was one of the ones that I read out earlier, as well as, wait, this happened to me, from there too. They said they would send me the correct one, but after waiting months, it never came, so I had to cancel because it wouldn't arrive in time to be tailored. Then they tried charging me a restocking fee for a dress I never received. I ordered from them flat out, didn't get my dress or veil. I had to order a veil and dress 2 weeks before my wedding and get alterations done. And in that time, I was stressed. And to preface, I emailed multiple times to make sure I would get my dress on time, and they swore it would come. I ended up disputing the transaction with my CC company, never heard a word back after my final email. So like we discussed, this is not a one-off, isolated in a vacuum, oopsie situation.
So now let's get to KJ. I'm going to scoot back so I can get the ball. She used to work there, and she has confirmed that this has happened more than once. She ended up quitting after Shay hired a business coach, and they started changing things about KJ's responsibilities and also lowered her salary. And once KJ showed up in the comments on TikTok, the husband of the owner started texting her and reminded her of the NDA she signed.
Hello, KJ, this is Thomas Owings. I would love to chat with you for a moment. And she replies, about. And then he says, I'd just love to talk to you about your TikTok comments and thoughts. I just want to know what my family did to you to want to share something. Some reason I don't believe you are going to share any of the positive or how many opportunities Sybil has tried to give women. I know there are NDAs and this and that, and I don't even want to have to look into those. Would just love to figure out what happened, why you want to hurt us, so I can make sure it never happens again with another employee. Sorry, the text I'm like reading down here like a shrimp. That's really interesting that to work for a bridal shop you would have to sign an NDA. I mean, I understand about like not sharing business secrets, but sharing your own experiences if they are true, like you don't, if you share a positive experience doesn't mean you have to share a negative experience and vice versa. Like it's not about making it equal. And in this situation, she is giving her real life experience of the fact that this is true and these situations have happened multiple times.
And wanted to know what happened so it wouldn't happen again. But she let him know that it was inappropriate that he was texting her, as it is not his company. But KJ is also only 18 and she doesn't need to explain herself. So this is really it. Shay will be receiving a brand new dress in her size, which will officially be the 4th dress that she would have put on. Okay, bye.
And so KJ replied, 1, it's highly inappropriate for you to be texting me at all. This is your wife's business, not yours, and I am a teenager. Yikers. 2, I'd like a copy of the NDA I signed as a picture since you want to mention it and hang it over my head. Look into it all you want. You don't even know what I plan on saying, if anything. So it's very odd of you to text me all of this. 3, I don't feel it's necessary for me to explain a TikTok comment I make to you. And quite frankly, it's weird that you sought out my number to message me over a comment I made, especially when that comment didn't contain anything negative. 4, nobody wants to hurt. I'm assuming it says your business. Just very bizarre. Like, I feel like this is the thing, right? Is that this business and the people in this business's knee-jerk reactions are very bizarre and do not give, I'm sorry, do not give, I want to make it better. Like their initial response and reaction and their like guttural response is very aggressive, on the attack, acting like people are attacking them. What do we want to do to hurt them? It's so bizarre to me, that mentality of like turning it into like this is a personal attack on you as a person and your family and your business, as opposed to you made a mistake. Though mistakes need to be fixed, everybody, right, everybody makes mistakes. That is not the problem. The problem is how you are continuously addressing it. I did also want to mention this comment that says storytelling skills excellent, ball throwing mediocre, lacked focus, missed opportunities to throw the ball, too busy yapping. But if you can believe it, it does not stop there. And I wanted to show you guys this one girl's video where she is actually where I got the screenshot of the dress being ruined by the zip, because she talks about businesses and how to help businesses on her page, and she was getting some heat and backlash of people being like, you are just trying to tear down small businesses. You're not holding them accountable for actions and behaviors that are not good enough for a business. No, you're just being a meanie bombini. So let's watch her video.
With all businesses I talk about, when I started talking about Birdie Bridal, I was simply providing commentary on a situation that was happening on TikTok, then covered it further as it began to evolve. I have filmed videos already that are going to be posted today and tomorrow, but once I got this comment, another's like it, I need to talk about this now. It is not my goal when I get on this app to destroy someone's business. That is not my goal. First and foremost, my goal is to get a solution for this bride that is adequate, then for other brides, and then it's to help this business. It is certainly not my goal to destroy Birdie Bridal. I am local to this area. They have 3 businesses that are all local to me. I want small businesses, especially in my area, to succeed. I have an education in this area. I have experience in this area, and I genuinely do want to help. And I did reach out to Thomas, and I was kind in my messages, and he was kind in his responses to me. Thomas is the owner's husband, who, by all accounts, for most of the day yesterday, spent a lot of time in the comments being very respectful and very kind. Throughout the day, as the video of the apology got more traction, his replies to the comments got a bit more defensive, and I was beginning to get comments in my comment section saying, hey, have you seen what the husband is saying? And I literally reached out directly late last night, and I was like, look, I'm going to give you a piece of very, very free advice. It is an emotional time. This is very tough. Why don't you take the night and just go to sleep? I don't know if he took that advice. I have not read more comments. I haven't taken a look. I don't know. I've been taking care of my kid this morning. But here's the deal. I do want to help them, and that offer still stands.
And I think that is great advice, especially in the heat of the moment, or when a situation like this is feeling very overwhelming and feeling like, clearly it's feeling like to them an attack on them as people over trying to resolve mistakes that this company continues to make and only seems to kind of try to resolve them when it goes so viral that the internet peer pressure kind of forces their hand. But yeah, I'm not really sure if it seems like he did take her advice, but let's continue watching her video.
I told them I would be willing to talk with them for 15 minutes today and try and explain to them why, although they feel that the solution may be finished, that's not maybe adequate for both the general public, their future customers, and the bride. And I also have previous brides in my messages with very, very similar stories, which tells me that this is a systems failure. I was on bed rest my entire pregnancy with my daughter, who was born at 34 weeks. I had an awful pregnancy. I know what it's like to run a business. I know what it's like to be under immense stress and be worried about your pregnancy. I legitimately think I can help them build systems and processes so that she can enjoy her break just now, but in the future. However, big however, right? They have to be kind of on board with being able to kind of adjust and pivot. And sometimes being in business means that we accept that we're wrong, even if we feel we're not wrong. I'm not saying they're wrong, right? Whatever, right? I obviously made my opinion clear. Also, this is about rehabbing their public image, and that is very, very possible. And I do think I can help them. Either way, I find transparency to be important, so I wanted you guys to know. This is a very informal, just chatty video. I want to be clear. That is not my intentions here, certainly not with Birdie Bridal. My hope is that I could assist them, or somebody could assist them to do better, and then to help rebuild or build and then further build their business that they already have. And even possibly build, a redemption arc, if you will, by actually rectifying the situation with this bride, both privately and publicly and with other brides. I think it's very possible.
And I feel like she makes so many good points. And I do also agree, like, a lot of people love to say, like, oh, I'm being cancel culture, blah, blah, blah. As I love to say, if bloody Cody Ko can still post online, Ned bloody Fulmer thinks he can start a podcast, like, is there truly ever such thing as being cancelled? Colleen Ballinger, like, there are so many people that have done things that are so extreme and continue to exist online. I think although yes, having such a response would be incredibly overwhelming, it is definitely something that a business could grow and learn from, improve, change and improvement, and rebuild that relationship online and with their customers. Like, this isn't a you've gone past the point of no return situation, but like this top comment says, if raising awareness to facts destroys a business, it's the business's fault alone. What that kind of highlights in the sentiment that a lot of people feel like is that from the story, it's not that this company made a mistake, it's that this company continued to react in such a negative and bad way, an emotionally charged way, and their actions continue to contradict the fact that they say that they are sorry and the fact that they say they want to do better and they've made all of these changes. And I think especially the fact that the comments have highlighted that this is not a once-off issue, that multiple brides have been treated this way, and it's only now where Wit has gone out to bat for her sister and to actually call them out online has it been brought to light, and has it given people the space to say, yeah, this happened to me too, but I had no resolution because I didn't post it online. But interestingly, this comment thread really caught my silly little eyes because it said this, and I do not have the confirmation of this, so we're just taking random TikTok comments word for it. But it says, another thing, I looked on all of the state databases for Texas business registration, and I can't find a business registration for Birdie Bridal or Sparrow Bridal, another one of her businesses. The national database brings back 0 results as well. She has 10 plus businesses registered to her, but none in the bridal business. She is a habitual business starter, and I have to wonder if it's because of stuff like this or a deeper tax evasion issue. It just reads as very odd to have multiple businesses registered to your name, but none of them are the name of the business. Not as a legal name, DBA, assumed, or adopted name. Where is Birdie Bridal and Sparrow Bridal registered? And the creator replied, this is very interesting and also in line with other messages I've gotten and research done. And the commenter said she found it on opencorporate.com by searching up officer names. I looked up both of the businesses, and when they produced no results, I started looking for her name specifically and found a bunch. It's definitely worth looking at because it is so strange. I had to make an account to see it, but it is a national database. And she said, sending you a message. And this creator has not made a video about that yet. I mean, we're taking this like everyone's got your big handful of salt, right? We've got many grains of salt. It just feels like there's a lot of things that are pointing to the fact that maybe there are bigger issues at play. There are obviously more stories like this for Birdie Bridal alone, and there are obviously bigger issues. And the fact that they continue to act like they just needed to just now put guardrails and just now, fix the issue, this once-off issue, is feeling very unlikely. But if you can believe it, Sybil actually made another video. So let's watch her final video responding to the situation.
So I woke up this morning to, of course, another million comments of give Lachey her refund, and absolutely panicked that maybe I didn't say that in any of my apologies. So I went back and watched, and everything was just such a blur over the last few days. And so I realized that after looking at the statistics of our video, that only 3% of the 2 million people that watched the whole thing. So I just want to give everyone a little update that if you didn't watch the whole video, that we refunded Lachey, or I refunded Lachey the second I learned about all of this. Like I said in the video, I was on bed rest just trying to keep my little baby cooking, and I was not in the loop of the major ball we dropped with her. And the second I got all the details. The second I found out, my husband and I just divided and conquered, and he was like, I'm gonna call Lachey, you get a new dress into production for her. He called Lachey, we Zelled her the payment immediately, profusely apologized. And again, Lachey, I'm so sorry that this happened. You trusted us with such a joyful time in your life, and we made it stressful, and I'm so sorry. But Lachey was so nice to my husband, and she has been every single update we've given to her. Her dress is going to be completed today, and we will get that to her the second it comes in. But yes, me and my husband and I divided and conquered, and he got that done. I got the dress into production. I've done extensive training with my staff, investigated the whole thing.
And I just feel like, again, she can't help herself but have these weird digs, or have these kind of like, hey, you silly geese with no attention span in the pond over there, you only watched 3% of the video, and so it's your fault that you don't know that she did get a refund. And I think probably what is most likely happening is that people don't get these stories in a chronological order on their timelines, right? So they may have seen her crying video, or they may have seen a Wits video, original video, and then, saw that after the fact. So there's obviously a lot of other factors as to why she was getting those comments, and there is obviously a delayed reaction to getting comments. But sure, also people don't always watch things, right? Like, that's also true, but to make it be like, You guys, that's why you don't know that we gave the full refund. And also the divide and conquer thing is very interesting, because I'm like, so was him like messaging your old staff also part of the divide and conquer? Like, that's a bit strange. But anyway, let's continue watching.
And since we had to make some obviously major employment changes within the business, he said, I can deal with all the people responding to them on TikTok, but we couldn't get him logged in, so he decided to do it from his personal page. And so that's why you've seen so many comments from him. You know, we both work for the business full time, but before I started posting more videos yesterday, we filled Lachey in that we were gonna continue to post, and we didn't want to be insensitive to her. But we do still have, 12 girls that work here that don't deserve to lose their job and had no hand in any of this. And a lot of these girls, I have one amazing girl that has worked for me since she was 15, and she's almost 22 now, and she stopped going to college because she loves this so much. And I'm just not gonna let a mistake ruin so many of our careers. I'm gonna keep going. I absolutely love providing affordable dresses. When I got into this, I just saw this need of, hey, these designers really like jack up prices unnecessarily, and I want to provide a affordable dress for everybody, and I'm passionate about that, and I'm gonna keep going, and my staff deserves me to keep going. And Lachey, I know I said it in my video, but I am so sorry. I'm so sorry. Your dress will be to you the second I get it into my hands. And I just appreciate your grace, and been so nice and as understanding as you possibly could be during this time. And I just wish the whole internet could be a little bit more like Lachey. So everybody have a great day.
Sorry, it's not funny, but I just saw that she did a hashtag that says, be more like Lachey. Okay, I just giggled a little bit. I'm sorry. But yeah, the top comment is, thank you for addressing this with more sincere rambling. And I think that is how a lot of people feel about this. And it's like, again, from her previous video, like there's a lot of words about, yeah, we're fixing it, we're making it better, we're doing better, we're moving on. But there's no like concrete evidence of how. And I think what she doesn't realize is how she's saying, we don't want to be insensitive to Lachey, but we're going to move on and post as per usual. But a lot of people are finding that insensitive, and like in the previous video we saw, the content that you make going forward is important and is still a part of how you rebuild the narrative and how people feel about you and your business. So to just continue to post because you feel like you have amazing people that work at your store, like, yes, sure, that can be true, but you continuing to post as if nothing has happened, which is what they've done, is not going to make the audience and people feel reassured by that behavior. Now we just have one final video, which is our girlie and her dog. What's her name actually? Her name is the Cliff Notes gal. But yes, I did want to end on her video because she has some final pieces of this whole puzzle of the bigger picture of how it's just like, it feels like there's one too many nickels in this room for it to be a coincidence. So I thought it would be a good video to end on, and also her dog is adorable. We love that. That's a bonus.
I have received feedback from 2 additional ex-employees that have chosen to stay anonymous with their stories. They too had to sign paperwork with the company, kind of like an NDA. So to start all of this off, I'm going to say this is alleged, and I also want to say that cancel culture is real, and I do hope that this business truly listens to all of the feedback, because their comments and videos to their viewers on their page, they keep only addressing the actual mistake for this one dress incident that went viral. They have yet to address the many customers, if you read here all over my damn screen, from their customers stating that they have had horrible experiences as well. Viewers are wanting to hear these issues being addressed as well, along with the complaints from ex-employees. I do also want to include and be fair from both sides, as I did find one comment that said they actually had a great experience with Birdie Bridal. Let's get to the additional stories from the other employees. Again, I will reiterate, this is alleged and it's staying anonymous. So I am just going to break this down in bullet points combined from both people. Allegedly, the girls at the store would rip tags out of the wedding dresses in order to gaslight the women who received them, so they wouldn't actually realize the real size they got. It was supposedly not uncommon for them to send dresses that looked like the dresses that the brides actually wanted. Management told them to basically just try and get the bride to cooperate. Allegedly, a certain manager would make employees feel bad by demeaning them and calling them names. An additional girl said that they let her go, and during that exit process, they told her she was great with brides and they never actually had any issues. Sorry, phone was falling. But them letting her go was just a personal decision. The same employee said that people would make comments about their looks and even the makeup that they wore, and once the employee tried to address it with them, they instead decided to let that person go. In the end, these girls feel wronged, and I truly hope that this company takes this as a learning lesson. They adjust the business practices, that they're more honest and they're more truthful, and clearly there are stories of the same thing happening, not just the viral ones. So let's listen to the feedback of your customers, and I hope it gets better. Okay, bye.
And I think when we hear these alleged stories of these alleged employees and their alleged experiences, allegedly, right, it makes a lot more sense as to why that person on their social medias and other people that were working and initially dealing with Lachey were behaving in that way and were treating them that way initially. Because it seems like, allegedly, if we were to allegedly believe what these alleged people are allegedly saying, that this is definitely part of a bigger issue. This was not a once-off issue. There were multiple comments that people found and people sharing their stories. And I definitely feel like that is part of the bigger issue with the way that Birdie Bridal is behaving, is that they are trying to act as if this is a once-off thing that they have now fixed and woohoo, back to normal, back to business as per usual, back to posting dresses and hee. Whereas in reality, what this story has actually shown is that there were a lot of people treated like this. There probably wasn't a very good work culture, and people don't have the confidence or reassurance in their behavior and actions that moving forward that is different. Because like, what are guardrails? Specifics, please. Like, yes, you gave a refund, but you also zipped up the dress in the wedding dress bag. So I don't know. It's not instilling confidence, and I just feel like as long as Birdie Bridal kind of just continues on and acts like nothing's wrong and acts like this was a silly little once-off, they're not going to truly understand why people are acting this way and why people feel the way they do, and they will kind of, I guess, just continue to be like, we're getting cancelled. So annoying when you get cancelled. It's like, no. I feel like most people just want to see that you're making actual change, and to see and to hear what those actually are, and to see and feel confident that moving forward people won't be treated like Lachey. Like, is that a crazy thing to ask for? I don't think so. But yes, once again, I have yapped for way too long. So now it is definitely your guys' turn to, if you haven't already, please share your thoughts in the comments down below. I would seriously love to know. But yes, thank you guys so much for watching. If you stay till the end, you are a real one. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you want to keep up with me between my uploads, I'm on TikTok and Instagram, and I'll link my vlog channel down below. But don't you worry, guys, because I'm not funny there either. Bye. What was that? That was like a bird. Maybe it's like a maybe it's the subconscious of Birdie Bridal made my hand do that. I don't know. Sorry. Bye.